Everyone, just wanted to take a minute to talk a little bit about graphing systems of linear inequalities in two variables. So last time we had looked at how to graph one inequality with the shading up and down and making sure if it's, there's no equal to component, you have the dashed line. But now what we're going to do is we're going to look at what happens if we're graphing two or more inequalities at the same time. So you do need to be careful. I say two or more. Typically, if you have two lines, you're like this, right? Where you have, a slope and an intercept. It's usually just going to be the two inequalities. A lot of the times what you'll see is if you have more than two, the other ones will be something like this. And if you ever see that, what does that mean? That just means that we're dealing with only the first quadrant, really. So typically, if you see another set, it's just saying, we're going to only look at the first quadrant. And that's because a lot of the times that's a lot more useful for applications. In Algebra 2, you're going to do a big application with this called linear programming. But anyway, that's besides the point. Let's go through the process. Again, let's go through and plot this one. So we are going to start at 4. And we go down 1 to the right 1. All right, so we do need to ask ourselves, can I include this boundary line? I cannot because it is not included. And again, I always like to confirm by checking a point. So if I check 0, 0, is 0 greater than 4? Well, no. So I cannot include 0, 0. So I have to shade up. Or you could remember and ask yourself, greater than up, and go, okay, there we go. All right, now let's plot a new line. So we need a new line, and there's going to be at 1. We go up 1 over 1, 2. Okay, and we need to ask ourselves, is it dashed or is it solid? Well, it is dashed, right? And the reason it's dashed is because it is not including the boundary line. And I like to double check and say, is 0 greater than 1? Well, no, it's still not. So I have to shade towards the direction that does not include 0, 0. Oops. I have to shade up. Now, you'll notice here I have this region, this darker region, where both of them are shaded in. And that is actually the area that I care about. This is nice, right? I mean, that's nice. That's where just the top one's true. And this is where just the bottom one's true. But this is where both of them are true. All right, so if I pick any point from inside here, this will satisfy both of these and give me two inequalities that give me truthful statements. So we would say things like 3 is greater than 2 and 7 is greater than 3, whatever. It might not say exactly those, but if I pick any point from here, this shaded region, it will work. You can't pick anything from either line, right? Because neither line is actually included. So it has to be within this region. So that is a very common thing for you to do. So any point within this region would work. So in this case, it's asking for any point. So if I went over to 2 and up to 3, that's going to work. 2, 3, bam, works. Okay. So that was the point I picked. As long as it's in here, it's fine. And if you wanted to confirm that it was going to work, what I picked 2, 3. So I would say 3 is greater than -2 plus 4, and that 3 is greater than 1/2 times 2 plus 1, right? So 3 is greater than 2, works. 3 is greater than 2, works. Okay. All right, let's look at another one. Okay, so first one, we have to plot our point. We have -2, and we go up 1 to the right 1, right? Remember, there's nothing in front, 1 over 1. This one, we cannot include the boundary. And once again, I am going to double check and determine if I plug in 0, 0, is 0 less than -2? Well, no, it's not. 0 is not less than -2, so I need to shade down. Shade, nope, down. Okay, and then this one we have -8. We're going down 1, 2 to the right 1. Now we will include this one, right? Because it has the greater than or equal to included. And I'm going to, again, check my point and say, is 0 greater than -8? Why, yes, it is. So I can shade up to include this point that I just checked. Alternatively, it is greater than or equal to, so you would shade up. But I don't know, I have a hard time. I get why this is up, but it's just kind of hard to see sometimes, in my opinion, whether or not like that's up. So that's why I always like to make sure to check. Nope, and we want that side. So now what we can do is we can pick anything within this region that works. Okay? Anything in here will work. This line will not work. We do need to be careful about that. So I can't pick, like, let's say, what's that, 7, 5? I can't pick 7, 5. That won't work. However, I could pick anything on this line, right? I could pick anything on this line up to not including this point right there, like right after that. So I could pick something on this line, but I can't pick something on this line. So just to show you what I mean by that, I could pick, what's that, 0, -8? That's fine. That should work. See? 0, -8 will work because that's on that line and that works. They just picked this sample point. That works. Whatever you care to pick, okay? So this is ultimately all you're going to be doing in this section. I think it's pretty straightforward. Once you get the hang of the shading and determining which direction to shade, it should be pretty smooth sailing. So let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.